So you see dollar yen at 163 by September this year. Do you see intervention on the horizon? That's not the case?
I think there's always a risk now of intervention, given that we've crossed that threshold of 160. I would say, as was alluded earlier, we're keeping an eye on the volatility as much as we are on the level. The volatility that we're watching is particularly the 1 month implied FX volatility for dollar yen. Last time we had some intervention was when we reached a 12 handle, particularly when we move above 10. So, that sense is imminent. I think to a certain extent as well, where month end, quarter end, when typically there is demand for dollars, particularly from the corporate sector, that is lifting the dollar at the moment. So it may be worthwhile leaning in, smoothing, and waiting and seeing, buying time. But ultimately, we've got the French elections, which could be a big mover for euro dollar coming up as well. And so we are clearly on intervention watch.
What about this PCE and, of course, some anecdotal evidence of inflation coming down stateside? Maybe that could actually let off some steam from dollar down the road, and then that can do the work for the Japanese authorities. Am I reading it right?
You're reading it right, but I think the problem with that is quite theoretical. The practical issue is that we've still got a very significant yield gap between Japan and the United States, and at the same time China's economy continues to struggle. So we have to watch not only the constellation of dollar yen and data, but what dollar Korea and what dollar renminbi are doing. And when you look at the crosses, let's say, of CNY versus yen or yen Korea, we're getting to some important levels as well. And the question for the Koreans and the Chinese will be, do we intervene and sustain these levels at a loss of competitiveness to Japan as well? And so that has to be another input into there. So I think the data, yes, I get it. But ultimately, the overall fundamentals still are pushing for a stronger dollar. We're seeing dollar breaking some significant levels and pushing through some resistance levels on dollar indices as well. So I think it's going to take more than a core PCI giving a nice print to get dollar yen off the hook.